The company was started in June of 1978. It started out as a concrete company doing subcontracting work in the concrete business. It was started basically by, I think, Larry Francis and his dad, Bud Francis.
Bud was old school to the nth degree. Hard bid, knock 'em down commercial contractor. He was definitely from the old school of commercial construction. I don't really know a better way to put that.
I started at FCI in November of 1986. The company was a small, evolving general contractor. We did a lot of concrete work back then, mostly. We had about, 15 employees, I think. The company was basically ran by the founders, Bud Francis and Larry Francis, and then Gene Francis was doing the payroll at the time.
You were it. Really. There wasn't a whole lot of guys. There wasn't a whole lot of organization, planning in the very, very early days. It was just, you did with what you had, and you found a way to make it happen and get it done. And everybody did a little everything. You ran a backhoe when you needed to run a backhoe. You set forms when you needed to set forms. You finished concrete when you needed to finish concrete. You put door hardware on when that needed done. And you really didn't. The superintendent back then, that you did all those things. Some good people and some leadership with a vision that was providing opportunity, and that's really how I think most everybody looked at it back then. Hey, this is an opportunity. Let's make the most out of it and do whatever we have to do to get it done.
Well, I think it was like you got a set of plans, and there was one superintendent, and he had his own pickup truck, and we were paying him to rent his pickup truck and give him a set of plans, and he would go out to the job site and just start working. And it was real simple, and it wasn't very sophisticated, but we went out and got the job done. That's what you did back then. That was in the late 80s. The safety standards were near what they are today. A lot of people didn't wear hard hats. Some of the guys went to work on the crews with tennis shoes and cut off shorts. The framers, some of the carpenters, there weren't any standards like there are today. When we started really growing here from what was then about $2.5 million a year, and then we hired some more people. Ron Choate came to work as a project manager in 1987. We decided cognitively to open an office in Arizona to take the winter dip out of the construction season. So we planned on doing more construction in Arizona during the winter and less in Colorado because of the weather. And then we got our first job in Arizona in 1987, Fort Huachuca, and Shane Haas was the designated superintendent, and he loaded up in we had a dump truck, an old Chevy dump truck, and we put an Owatonna skid steer in the back of it, and he took off for Fort Huachuca, Arizona, to be the superintendent on that job down there. We didn't have an office there at that time, and that was in the fall of 1987. And then in the spring of 1988, we opened the office in Phoenix, and that really put another focus on our growth. So we had two offices and focused on growing our volume in Arizona. The next office we opened was in 1993 in Broomfield, Colorado, or Denver. We had a couple of jobs over there. We actually started bidding jobs, like our first job in Denver was at CU Boulder, I think, Eckley Hall, and Stan Kaiser came on board about that time, and he was traveling from here to Boulder every week as a project manager. So that evolved into, we got more work there, so we opened an office there and hired another project manager, Greg Barrett, and he was running that Broomfield office over there. And then that office grew by doing other work. We started doing some work in Alamosa, and Greg was managing that, and he thought he wanted to work or live in Durango. And at that time, Shane had moved back from Arizona, and we was living here in Grand Junction. And we got some jobs down in Durango, and Shane was driving over Red Mountain Pass every week down to manage the work in Durango. So Greg wanted to open an office in Durango, so it just made sense. We were already working there, and Greg wanted to live there, so Greg started managing the work in Durango, and Shane came back here. And that's typically how we would open our other offices. We would get a job in the area, establish our presence at the job site, and then as we got more work, we would be able to open an office and support that office with the work that we have in the area. It's just those people that work for the company are doing a tremendous job, and that's allowed for us to do the work that we've done and grow as fast as we have.
They provided the opportunity for you to succeed. And what more could you ask from the guys at the top? They also provided a great role model as far as work ethic, intelligence, process, and procedures.
I think what hasn't changed is the character of the people. I mean, when I get up and you think about, okay, why am I going to work today? And you know, well, it's not because you love scrubbing concrete or dragging concrete blankets when it's cold outside, and it's not because you want to come in and deal with a pissed off subcontractor. You know, when I look at what's kept us here so long is it's the people. I mean, I'm incredibly blessed and thankful for the people that we have here. I mean, it's truly remarkable, and that's what makes it, even on the worst days, easier to come to work, because you know you're having a good day or bad day, you got someone to share it with. Either way, you know, we had some big events in 2007. Ron Choate died in September. Greg Barrett died in October. That was pretty tough. And at first, everybody looked at it as pretty unfortunate, because it was a time of extreme growth. 2007 to 2010 was just astronomical growth. I mean, almost doubling, 50% growth, 30% per year. And those two deaths of one man ran our Durango office, the other man, Ron, ran our whole operations. I mean, he was really the cheerleader, the guy that everybody looked to for motivation. He truly cared about people. He would, if things weren't going right and he wasn't getting what he felt he could out of you, he'd call your wife and ask her what was up. But I think that it's really good at looking back and even partway through it, that we had so much work. We didn't have time to stop and think about it. We had the services, we grabbed the gear, and a lot of good people stepped to the plate. I saw some folks accomplish things that I would have never dreamed they could accomplish. And not only did we get through that loss, but we grew tremendously through that. That was a big event, and what was interesting is it just goes to show the character of all the people in this company, because you lost two great men, two great leaders. And not only did we not miss a beat, but we kicked it in the ass. Not one person does that. That's a team. It's getting things done is what makes this company. Everybody in here, doesn't matter what role they're in, if they're a coordinator or a receptionist, AP, doing data entry, making sure the bills are paid. Everyone's role is important, and they're just as good at people as we've got out in the field. But at the end of the day, what sets us apart is the field is what really we're all here to support. If we don't get concrete poured in the ground, if we don't get steel put in the air, we don't send an invoice and none of us exist. So I look at everything, and as far as in the office, is really maybe that we're the linemen, so to speak, in football, and the field's the quarterback and running back, that maybe they get to score all the touchdowns, and we're kind of the folks in the admin and office are doing the work that has to be done to facilitate that. But keeping that focus on doing that is what's propelled us forward. It's the ability to build buildings and build more buildings and build bigger buildings and build more complicated buildings. That doesn't happen in here, and it doesn't happen from a desk. It happens from a group of individuals that freaking got their shit together.
The hardworking people that we have working for us, some of those very, very early on guys hold a lot of the exact same work ethic and core values that now some of us younger guys are trying to implement. I think we probably work harder for our owners than most other people would. We don't ever throw our arms up and say it can't be done. We fight through and figure out how to get it done. And I do think it starts at the top with our big bosses, the corporate guys up in Junction, as well as throughout the different offices, and you get that feeling from the top down. So I think that all can be attributed to our success.
The buildings we're building are going to be here long after we're done and gone, and so that is the most enjoyable thing. Is just providing something long lasting that others get to enjoy for the lifetime of the building. You know, our projects that we do are the most important things to our owners, and so it's really enjoyable knowing that they're going to enjoy that building long after we're gone.
Well, those core values were created or defined, I guess, about 5 years ago. We sat down as a company and put together what we call a strategic plan, and with that strategic plan, we developed our core values, and those core values are hard work, trust, professionalism, and honesty. The core values are ingrained in our employees.
If you want professional, you act professional. If you want trustworthy, you are trustworthy. If you want honesty, be honest. If you want hard work, demonstrate that. Live the core values. It's important.
It's not something that's given, it's something that's earned. It's a responsibility. You're just doing what you feel you're supposed to do. You're doing what you think is the right thing to do.
When our people show up to their job every day and they work hard and they have the client's interest at the top of their list, I think our culture works well for probably just about anywhere. And that's why I think it's important for those core values and for us to live them every day, because it's proven, at least to me, over the last 23 years that it's a pretty good model for success in what we do.
I've always enjoyed the great people here. I've always enjoyed the great opportunities that FCI specifically has been able to provide for me. And I've always had that next vision was right around the corner. That next opportunity was always there, ready to open up. And it kept me intrigued and kept me going.
I knew I didn't want to regress in my responsibilities. I knew what I was capable of, and I wanted to share those capabilities with a good company that just didn't not only appreciate what you did, but had the ability to recognize what you did and what you do and allow you to have some latitude to grow.
It's not about looking at, well, geez, we want to do 10% more, we want to do this volume. It's okay, how do we keep everybody busy? How do we keep every good person in a position and give them the opportunity to provide for their families? That's where the focus is. The growth and the dollars are just, that's a result. I mean, that's a byproduct. And I think it's really cool that, you know, so much of that goes back into the community too. People are getting opportunities, they're proud because they're giving back to the community. Everybody's just doing the right thing. And I think that's what feels good. That's what's different about this company. Everybody's not here for just a paycheck. They're here because they're proud of who they work for.
Because of our core values, our honesty, our repeat clients, we've established a good reputation and trust within the communities that we work in.
We build a lot of community items. You know, that's kind of my big stick with FCI, and why I wanted to come here is to build the community, right? So we build hospitals, we build schools, we build clinics, we build, you know, different public municipality buildings on top of the occasional, you know, other commercial aspects on stuff too. But for me, it's really about building up our communities.
We adopt each community and treat them like our own, even if we do not have employees living in the community. But we make sure that we develop that relationship and we support the community, not only during construction, but even once the construction is done.
Over the years that I've been here at FCI, there's a lot of projects that I'm really proud of and glad to have been a part of. The one project that really stands out for me is the neighborhood school that we built in my neighborhood. I have two girls that go to the new school in our neighborhood, and it is really great to see those two girls walking up the street to the school that we built.
They're going to use this to learn and get their education, and without having the facility that we're able to provide them, they wouldn't be able to have as fulfilling of an education, and being able to do this is really enlightening.
I always like to see projects to the completion, and when you're able to walk away from a project and turn the keys over to a happy client, to a happy customer, that's a pretty good feeling. The bigger the project, the bigger that feeling is. It's like probably what football players experience when they win the Super Bowl or anything else like that. When you reach that finish line and you've done so successfully, even if it hasn't been a complete success, but you've done so with your head held high, that's that fulfillment and that feeling that you get of accomplishment.
Personally, I think it's a reflection of yourself. So, you know, the work that you produce is a reflection of you. And so for me, I take an extreme amount of pride in it, not only because my name personally is on it, but also the company I work for. And being invested in the company culture, taking pride in what you do and how you do it, and in the people around you is what we do.
So here at FCI Constructors, we pride ourselves on repeat clients, and I think a very good example of that is out here at Denver International Airport, a place that we've been on site continuously for 15 years. That's really a testament to all of our employees and the dedication to do whatever it takes to get the job done. And out here at the airport, we've had several people come through here and progress from engineers to management to VP, from laborers to superintendents. And really, like I said, there's been a lot of GCs that have come and gone over that 15-year period, but FCI has continuously been on site, and that's a real testament to our relationship with the city and county of Denver and Denver International Airport, and something that we take a lot of pride in.
This is a very challenging industry, and at some point along the way, you've got to have a little bit of fun when you can. We all spend so much time together every day, a lot of days, more so with our fellow employees than we do with our families. And so I think that work hard, play hard, let's be successful together is one of the things that's kept me here for so long.
The guys I work with are hands down my best friends. I mean, you always been told you can count your best friends on one hand. Dad told me that when I was young. It's very true. And I'm fortunate enough to go to both hands. Work with a lot of good people who are friggin' good guys on and off work.
It's a little bit more relaxed. We can joke around with each other. We have the insight and goal. The company has a future, you know, there's a plan set in place for that. Just all the stars aligned for that, and that's where I wanted to be.
When we hire somebody, we want them to retire with this company. And I am one that has retired with this company. When they hire you, if you commit to them, they will commit to you, and you can retire with this company.
As you get older in life and you're starting to really look long term, you want to find a place that feels comfortable, but on the same front offers you the possibilities that you want to have. And along with meeting guys that have worked here for 10, 15 years, you meet guys who started here as maybe on-site laborers or foremans that have now made their way through to becoming project managers and above. So meeting those guys and seeing the value that they put into their employees, into furthering them, is something you just don't find a lot of places.
The biggest thing that I've witnessed through being here for 32 years is to watch the growth of the people. That is the coolest thing that there is.
The company's focus from a growth from within aspect, I think, allows a lot of the current leadership to be consistent, but also new leaders that are growing into that leadership position are growing from within and aren't hired off the street. So that keeps that culture consistent, and I think that's so important, you know, for people that don't seek change and constantly are looking for the next best opportunity. If they're patient and do the hard work internally and, you know, earn the respect over time and trust of people that they're working with, and, you know, they're going to find a place here that's long-term for them.
While we all want growth and development and opportunity here, the thing that we have to guard against is losing that ability to remind ourselves how this thing started with that blue-collar culture, people doing whatever it takes. So again, those examples are at the top today. Everything they do, it just filters down, and hopefully the people we continue to hire have that same fabric in their DNA, so that as they develop and grow, they possess the same thing and show the same example to the younger generation that our current leadership is showing.
I mean, on the tough days, that's what makes you show up. That's what makes you perform. Is really the people, the friendships, their families, their kids, seeing, you know, everybody grow, and have that opportunity to enjoy what they do. And at least if there's, you know, not everybody enjoys every aspect of their job. If they tell you they do, I think they're full of shit. But I do think people enjoy who they work with. For me, that's what's kept me here for 32 years, is who I work with. If it wasn't for the character and the camaraderie, the knowing that they've got your back, and vice versa, there'd be no sense in showing up. That's where the true relationships are. That's where the true admiration is, at least for me, is everybody and how well they work together. And it's not about position, not about stature. It's just about everybody working together for the same common goal of creating opportunity for others. And then there'll come that time when it's time to get the hell out of the way and let the rest of them take it to the next level.